welcome to another episode of Behind the Dreamers. I'm Jennifer Loading, and we are talking to the achievers, the creators, the magic makers, and the dreamers. These are our friends, these are your friends, and they are living the extraordinary. Today's episode is brought to you by Walt Mills Photography. If you are a creator needing post-production, consultation, or promotion, Walt Mills is your guy. Whether short films, YouTube production, photography work, or a new headshot, he can help you find a solution to match your needs. To learn more about Walt and his work, go to photosbywalt.com. We also went to give a shout out to our friend Chris Clow of Upbeat Media Productions. If you are in need of turnkey special event production, Clow is your go-to. You can learn more about him and his work at upbeatmediapro.com. All right, we are super excited to welcome our guest in the studio today, Mr. Tom Allen. Excited to have you here, Tom.
I'm great to be here.
Awesome. He's the Chief Executive Officer at Opango. With more than 20 years of experience in small, medium, and large enterprises, Tom has extensive experience growing thriving organizations and delivering products to the global market. Opango delivers an online education and certification platform so educators and trainers can broaden their reach and increase their revenues.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Welcome to the show, Tom.
Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate being here.
Excited to have you here. My favorite part of the show is reading those bios,
Is that
just
right?
so you know. Yeah, I like the bios. They're fun because I get to, I find out all kinds of things about you guys when I get those bios.
It's interesting. You get asked to write your bio all the time, and then you're like,
You're like, what do
it's
I
me,
write?
but like, what am I going to put in here?
Exactly. Well, I will tell you a funny story. So
Yeah.
maybe I shared with you that I was in the network marketing space. And so we had to have like accolades. Like we had to, because we would have award ceremonies. So we
right.
always had to have them. So I actually learned very early on how to write like my own bio for when people
Really?
were introducing. But you'll be amazed at how many, like you said, people in this space don't really have to do that, so they don't really know how to put that together, right? And so
right.
it's a new thing.
It seems like it wouldn't be as hard as it is, but
Yeah.
but once you do a few of them, and then you cut and paste, and after a while, you're saying things that you don't even know you did.
Right. And it is. Sometimes it's hard because you got to talk about yourself. And you're
I know.
like, what do I
know. Who wants to do that?
Yeah,
Right.
like, what do I put on? But then here's the good side of it, Tom. Then you look at it and you can go, man, I'm pretty cool. I've done a lot of awesome things. Right?
It is amazing. I've actually been really blessed. I've gotten to do a lot of really nice things in the market, and the good news is I got to work on them when they were just a gleam in somebody's eye, and the bad news is they're just commonplace now. So
Well, you got to be in the beginning. That's how all things are, really. Like you get to start in the beginning.
It really is. It's and in telecom, where I spent most of my career, you're really innovating a lot.
Yeah.
But then it doesn't. After a while, it's sort of like, okay, that's yesterday. Now what are we going to do now?
What are we going to do now?
So,
I feel like that every day, Tom. What are you talking about?
I
Every day I'll be like,
know,
what are we going to do now?
Right.
What are we doing now?
What are we going to do now?
I'm
Right.
bored. What are we going to do now, right? All right, Tom. So here's what I want to ask you really quick. I want you, because I know you've done a lot of things. You and I had an awesome
we
conversation
did.
off camera. And I'm like, Tom just is another one that's just done a lot of different things, which is
Right.
cool. I feel like you gain so much from doing that. You
Yeah.
learn what not to do, what to do,
Right,
all of
right,
that.
yeah.
But what I want to ask you is just kind of, you don't have to tell us everything, but just kind of tell us, how did we get to where we are today? How did we get to where Tom is today? Give us a little background.
Well, so, I worked at a really big company for the early part of my career, and I thought I was going to retire there like my dad. Mm-hmm. And one day it hit me like a brick. This place is going out of business. And so I went from going to thinking I'm going to have one job in my life to now I've had so many I can't count them all. But here's what the good news is. When you go into smaller companies and you have to do everything, you learn a lot. So your time and grade, you really get a lot of experience. So as a result of that, I've taken a couple of companies from the gleam in the eye out to the exit at the other end. And what you get out of that is, thinking back on it, the company I worked for taught me how to commercialize products. Then when you go to these startups, you got to take that and you got to figure out how to go to market with them and produce things. And a lot of entrepreneurs, it's kind of unpopular to say, a lot of us produce science projects. We don't really produce commercial products.
I've never heard it quite put that way. That's
well,
good. That's
it's
good.
It sort of is what it is.
Wow.
But so anyway, from that I learned to produce products that go to the market. And then what got me down to Opango was this. I'm a technology guy, but I'm also an aviation enthusiast.
I saw your pictures.
Right. And I'm
Yes.
thinking to myself, how can I make money in aviation? And most of the way you make money in aviation, if you want to make $1 million, you start with 2.
Yeah.
And, what I found out, long story short, is that in the aviation community, there's a need to improve the safety record of pilots.
Okay.
But what you have is a small number of resources that need to train a global market. So, I just gen that into, I need to produce a learning management system for the aviation market so they can actually go improve the safety record of their pilots. And for a lot of airplanes, they're not making them anymore. So it's about saving the lives of the pilot, but also saving the fleet because they don't make them anymore.
Okay.
So that's kind of how it all started. Now,
Wow.
turns out it's the same thing's true with a lot of associations, and is that they got a small number of people needing to train a global market, and they can't do it. If there's 5 of you, how are you going to do it?
Yeah.
And so that's how it came to pass. Is it just kind of came like kind of osmosed into that.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, I think that's how it happens, though, when we
Right.
create things, right? Like we
Right.
find, I mean, ideally, the idea is you
Yeah.
find a passion, right? And you find a
Right,
need. Like,
exactly.
where's the issue? And then we create something, right?
So if you're me and you get to go
Yeah.
hang around all these aviation events and all these aviators and you're
Yeah.
like doing something so you can participate in that audience, it's just,
Yeah.
it couldn't get better.
I know. I saw your pictures the other day when you sent them over, and I'm like, oh, he's got all these plane pictures going on here, but I didn't know this part about you. So,
Well, I just got back from Oshkosh.
okay.
And Oshkosh is the largest air show in the United States.
Yeah.
It's 7 days. The town that they have it in is 60,000 people.
I've heard of it. Yeah.
600,000 people visit Oshkosh every year.
Wow.
So, and it's outside. So during Oshkosh week, I walk 38 miles
Wow.
during the week. But the thing is, you're in airplane nirvana. I mean, what else would you
Yeah.
want? And,
Yeah. Airplane Nirvana.
and
It's so great.
So when I go to they have a thing called a type club meeting.
Yeah.
All these type clubs, every last one of them, need to figure out how to get their pilots to be safer.
Yeah.
And so I'm getting to sit in a room with these people, and they're all talking about their trials and tribulations, and
And you're learning.
And
You're
I'm
picking
learning.
up what you need to pick up.
And here's the thing that's really cool. They're all really good at what they do.
Yeah.
Online education and delivering content around the world, that's not what they
That's
do.
not what they do. Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah, that's good. No, that's awesome. You know, it's so funny is I was driving somewhere the other day and I went through a community that was like,
Yeah.
I've never seen this, but it was like a gated community. They all had airplanes.
Oh, yeah,
hangars.
yeah. Oh, yeah,
I'm like,
right.
I've never seen this
Oh, right,
before. It
right.
was so neat. I wouldn't. So I'm like, we're having this conversation right now, but it was so funny. I went home and I told my son, I said, I drove through this neat community that was like,
Yeah.
everybody had like these I was following behind a little airplane on the road, on the roadway.
There's a place. It's a little community over there by, I want to say it's like Willow Bend Mall.
Is there?
And there's
Okay.
like
That's Air Park. Yeah.
Air Park,
Yeah.
yeah. And it's like
Yeah.
all these people have their little baby hangars and they
Yeah.
just pull their planes in and then go home. Their home's right there. It's a neat
Do you have an
You're not going to
airplane,
believe
Tom?
I did for 20 years.
I was
but
going to say, did you have one?
I don't today.
Don't
I have
today.
all kinds of airplanes available to me, but I
Yeah.
don't personally own
Gotcha.
one anymore. I used to
Gotcha.
own, had one. I had a Beechcraft Bonanza for 20 years.
Okay.
That's what my dad had.
Wow.
My dad had a Beach Bonanza and then he had and then got a Cessna.
Okay.
So I got
I'm finding out all kinds of things today about both of you.
I
Too
got
fun.
my pilot's license at Air Park.
Oh wow.
Isn't that
that's
amazing?
Fun.
But there are aviation communities all around Dallas,
Yeah.
and the whole deal is you have a house and you have an attached hangar where
Yep.
you keep your plane, and you taxi on the roads up to the
But that's what I was
runway.
saying. It was so
Right.
funny because I told my son, I said, well, it would have been funny because the airplane was going that way and I was behind it, which was
Right,
fine. But
right.
it was like a 2-lane. I thought, what
Right.
happens if you come this way and the airplane's going that way and you're like, you can't get around it because it's on the road.
Well, you know what's interesting? Have you ever been to Alaska?
No, but I want to go.
They have airplanes in Alaska like they have trucks here in Texas.
Okay.
And so when you go to the airport at Alaska,
Yeah.
they have off-airport parking for the planes, and they
funny.
taxi on the city streets just like the cars.
Like the cars.
And they taxi over to the runway at the big airport, and they take off. And you're like, what?
You're like,
Because
what?
you wouldn't see that here ever.
Right.
ever.
No, but I thought it was funny when I was on that road and I was thinking, well, it's a good thing I'm behind him going the same direction because if I was coming out, I guess I'd had to, like, if I didn't see him coming, I wouldn't have, where'd I go?
I
Ditch?
don't know exactly what you do, but you
Yeah.
make room for them usually.
Exactly, because you don't want your car taken out
Right.
by one, right? Like I'm driving a little Camaro, like I don't want to take it out. But I was thinking about that because I'm like, there's the ditch, there's the little road.
Oh, wow.
And it's coming this way. I'm like, good. God was on my side that day.
Oh,
Somebody
yeah, I would
was.
say so. Yeah.
Somebody's like, don't put her next to that plane. That's so awesome. All right, so tell us a little bit about Opango then. So obviously you're in this creation space.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that. You
Well,
touched upon it, but give us
So
some-
So it's a learning management system. So you deliver your online education and certification. So it
Okay.
has all the stuff to guarantee that you actually took the course and all that sort of thing.
Very cool.
We have several aviation customers. Our largest one is the Helicopter Association out of Alexandria, Virginia. And after that, we tend to be in two other markets. Cybersecurity is another one, and healthcare.
Oh, wow.
And what you find out about people in my market is we all have our niches.
Yes.
And so those are ours. Now, it turns out we also have a little bit of everything. We have a guy that does public speaking training, and he's like maybe one of the best there is. And here's the good news. I get to take all his courses for free.
Oh, because you're helping him create.
You see,
yeah.
I tell people, I meet the most interesting people. They're doing the most interesting things, and they tell me everything.
Isn't that fun?
It is fun.
It's almost like you're a bartender, sort of, right? Like you're getting to see, hear all the stories and everything.
Think about talking to a doctor, and they
Right.
talk to you like you are somebody, and
Yeah.
not like you're, that emotional
Right.
distance they give you.
Right,
They don't
right.
give that to you. They tell you all about the heart and the eyes and the ears and how they work, and
Yeah.
and what do you think about how we could present that? And I'm like, you're a doctor, and I'm.
Yeah.
And you get to talk to them, and
Yeah.
it's really. When I first found that out, it was a little surprising to me because, you would think that people wouldn't. They're just not like you think they normally
Right.
are. They're telling you everything about their business. All of it's proprietary. It's confidential. It's their trade secrets.
Yeah.
And you have it all. And so that's probably the most interesting thing because I'm technically curious. So the fact that you will tell me everything,
Yeah.
and you want to, is pretty
Well, you
exciting.
can learn a lot too,
Yeah.
and I think that's how I kind of feel about doing this. Even though it's a different thing, I feel like I learned so much about you guys. That's the best part of what
Well,
I
so
get
you
to do.
do.
I don't know if you feel that way. That's what I feel. Is
You
that I
get
get
us
to learn.
to come in here and we spill the beans.
Yeah, you tell us all kinds of good stuff, and I learn. It's funny. Every time I think I know somebody until they come in here to do this podcast, and I'm like, man, I didn't know that about you. It's like
Right.
it's fun,
Right.
but it's good too because in a sense, I'm all about building relationships and networking. And so when I meet awesome people like you,
Right.
then if I meet somebody else, I'm like, you need to know so-and-so.
Well, you see,
You know?
now here's what I forgot to mention this. So now I know a lot or have customers and know people in other
Yeah.
tangential industries. So you're my customer and you go, I need some courseware like this. And I go, I have a customer that has that. Let me see if they'll be willing to license that to you. And then we make all that work. And I've been a little surprised at that too, because what happens is, say you get to know me really well.
Yeah.
You wouldn't license your stuff to somebody else in a million years, but you know me. And so I come to you and I say, hey, I have this other customer that would like to have your stuff. And they go, well, we don't really do that, but we know you. And,
Yeah,
and
it's a different kind of relationship.
It's a relationship.
Trust
thing. That's
there.
right.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, and you want
And
that.
with confidential information, they just got to know
Yeah,
that you're not going to share it with anybody that doesn't have
Right.
legitimate access to it.
I agree. Good stuff, Tom. Love it. Okay, so in all of these things that you've done, because you've done startups, so we talked about that a little bit, bringing the things to fruition, and now you've doing this other project that you're working on. What do you feel like has been the biggest challenge you've had to overcome in the process of this,
Well,
in your journey, maybe?
it's probably related to Opango, and like any startup here, the challenge is
Yeah.
always getting that first customer. And when I started Opango, all I had was a gleam in my eye. So imagine I'm talking to you. I got no product. I got no nothing.
You're just excited.
I'm just excited. I'm excited. That's all I got. And then one day I had a one-page PowerPoint, and now I'm like, I have a
Got
PowerPoint.
something.
And one day I sold it. And so here, this wasn't really a challenge, but I thought it was going to be. So I go home at night. My wife and I are having dinner, and I said, there's something I got to talk to you about. I said, I've been doing this Opango thing for a while now, and I sold one today, and we have to make a decision.
Okay.
And the decision is, are we going to write some checks?
Uh-oh.
And she said to me, really without blinking, yeah, sure, let's do it. Now, here's the thing you got to know about startups. You have to have your entire family has to be committed.
Yeah.
It can't just be you by yourself.
Right.
And so with that, this customer I sold, we had 3 months to deliver. Well, I had plenty of time. So we ginned up a development team, and we ginned the product up together. We delivered it to them on time, and they never, I'm not sure they really knew. And should they know? They probably listen to this podcast. Oh, that was us.
That was us.
But the other challenge probably is just, you've got to put an organization and a delivery mechanism together. And
Yeah.
when I do mentor a lot of startup
Okay.
entrepreneurs, and here's the way I classify them. They're all very excited about what they're doing.
Right.
Not even the smallest clue how to run a business.
Yeah.
So you can be excited, you can even produce your first product, but you got to be able to deliver it to your marketplace. And when you have nothing and you got to develop the company and you got to onboard people and stuff like that, that's a lot of work.
Yeah.
A hard startup is a lot of work, and it's a lot of challenges, and you just got to be sort of ready for it and mentally prepared. And the other thing is all your friends and family, everybody's kind of looking at you funny. You know how that is. They're
Yeah.
like,
I'm like, why are you doing that?
Why are you doing that? You can't do that.
Exactly. Why?
why? You can't do that.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? You just got to look at them and go, yeah,
I'm doing it anyways.
I'm doing it. I can do it, and I will do it. Just sit back and watch. Strap in.
Yeah, this is good. Well, and I think you said like a couple things that were really good, because I feel like one of the frustrations I had, and I think I shared with you, I came from the network marketing space. I
Yeah.
don't talk bad about network marketing. I think it's great for a lot of people. And I also
yeah.
think it's great for people that want to get into the business world that don't really want to invest a lot. But
Right.
there's a caveat to this. A lot of the people that come into it, I don't think are equipped to be entrepreneurs, as you just said,
Right.
because they're sold this idea of get in for this small minimal price and you too can be successful. And I think,
Oh, yeah.
and I think like you said, like we were talking about this and we talked about it in the previous
Yeah.
episode, is that we all know going into business,
Right.
those of us that are real entrepreneurs understand that there's work. There's stuff involved. There's
there
like
is
a lot
of work.
involved.
There
It
is
is
a
not
lot.
going to happen by osmosis,
No, it
right?
is not.
And finding the clients
Right.
is all of that is stuff that you got to think about, right? But I feel like you have to be emotionally equipped to understand that you're going to have to sweat. You're going to have to work.
Yeah.
You're going to have bad days.
Right.
You're going to have distractions, and you're going to have
Right.
days you want to throw in the freaking towel, right?
Right, exactly right.
Probably going to have a lot of those days, right? That's why
Exactly.
every day's a new day.
Every day's a new
I always
day.
say, don't make a decision now. You go to bed, because when you wake up in the morning, you can start over again, right? Like you're back to the beginning again.
Right.
I always love the mornings because
Well, that's the deal. You get a good night's sleep, you kind of get renewed, and the next day you
Exactly.
spring out of bed. And the other thing
Yeah.
I'm sure you do, I do. Somehow in the middle of the night, my mind comes to what I need to do,
yeah.
and I wake up going, "That's exactly
need
what
to do."
I need to do."
Exactly.
Yesterday, I didn't know what to do.
Right, 'cause you're
Today,
tired.
I know exactly what to do.
Right,
And I
Chris,
think
you're
that's actually
agreeing with
very
us over there? It's like you have that time to rest.
yeah.
The brain comes back, and you're like,
Right.
okay, I'm over being mad now. I'm quitting. I'm
Right.
done having my pity party. So now I'm back on track again. I got to get it done,
Well, and see, the other thing is once you have employees,
Yeah.
they can never see you blink or sweat at all. You're always
Yeah.
in command and excited and moving forward.
Right, right.
And they will reflect you. If
Yeah.
you, as long as you have that, then they'll kill themselves getting it done for you.
Yeah.
But if they ever see you blink,
Yeah.
they're gone.
I worked with teams. I didn't have per se employees, but I think that rings
Right.
same true with them, because
Right.
if they were looking at you to be a leader or a mentor, and if I think the authenticity is important, but I think they also need to know that whatever it is you're going through, that
Yeah.
I used to always say nobody cares about the garbage you're going through. They just want to see you come out of it. They want to see you get on
Right,
the other
exactly.
side, right? Like they
Exactly.
don't want to hear all your muck and all your drama.
Right.
They just want to see you get on the other side and you
Right.
got through it. Now show us how to do that, right? The real people who want to grow and learn
Right.
say, tell me how you did it. Right?
Exactly.
Tell me how you did that.
Right.
That
I even occasionally I give about a 1 hour talk on how entrepreneurs ought to run their business, and
Yeah,
I kind
I would love to hear
I
this.
just put together sort of what I learned over the last few years, and here's the mistakes we made, and the way I think about it is I've got all these welts on my back.
Yeah.
If I can share with you that something that will accelerate you by maybe 5 to 10 years, why wouldn't I just do that?
yeah. Right.
It doesn't cost me anything,
Right.
right? And
Right.
not that I get to go to sleep good
Yeah.
at night because I helped somebody else so if I had to think about it, I kind of wish I knew me when I was younger.
I know, isn't that great? But that's the thing. Like you wouldn't have been you. You know
No,
what I
I
mean?
wouldn't
Like
have been, right,
that's the thing.
right.
I feel like we all have to.
Right.
We receive when we're ready to receive,
Right,
right?
right,
And it's so
yeah.
funny because I work with people
Right.
now, and it's always. I feel like I love my clients. I love all
Right.
of them. But there's always this growth period we have to go through where they
Right.
just kind of don't listen to me in the beginning.
Right, yes.
They combat me, and I'm like, you're paying me to help you. Like you want me
I
to
know.
help you. Do you want that or do you not want that? Because I'm telling
Right.
you, like you're asking me what I would do, and I'm saying, well, I probably wouldn't do that. You can't tell them what to do because all you
No,
do is
you
offer
can't.
advice, right?
Right,
You
right.
can't say do this because it has to be their decision. But then they go and they do something, and then they come back. I will tell you though, the breakthrough comes is when I always laugh when they
Yeah.
finally figure it out and they come back and they go, I have an idea,
Right.
and all of a sudden it's a brand new idea, and I'm like, Well, we were kind of talking about that like 6 weeks ago. That same subject, I brought it up like over and over and over, but they heard it differently from somebody else. And you're like, yes, they got it.
Or
yes,
they came to it and they finally, but they didn't, the way they internalized it was all their idea, which is, by the way, that's sort of one of the rules is make them see it
make
as
it their idea. Yes,
make it their idea.
Right.
But if you try to tell them, you're not going to get anywhere. But well, now what's interesting is when I meet somebody and I'm working with them, after a while, I start thinking about, okay, it's going to take them 2 months. This person's going to take 6 months. And so I make a suggestion and then I wait. And they finally come to it. But if you try to push it, I agree. It's not going anywhere.
Well, and I know because that's how I was. I mean, really, I've been in the entrepreneur space for 23 years. I started, in my late 20s, and I remember, I had excellent mentors. I've had a mentor entire time I've been in business, and I remember like hearing, like one would come to me and I'd be like, no.
Right.
You don't know how many events I went to for 17 years, and I'd hear the same thing, and it would go in one ear and out the other, and then the one time, like, something happens and then I start doing that and I'm like, oh.
Well,
because that's when I was ready to hear it, right? So the right time.
And one of the things that I do is, I shouldn't admit this, but I often do not take my own advice. And one of the reasons I like mentoring young entrepreneurs is so it's just sort of I'm refreshing my mind on, okay, I'm telling this person to do things that I'm not doing. So and these are the things I know to do, and I'm suggesting this, so why don't I go back and sort of, reinvent myself a little bit? And,
that's awesome.
But I don't tell them that.
Yeah. I think I have had a moment where I said, I'm reminding myself while I'm telling you this too.
Exactly right.
Like I think I was talking to somebody the other day about affirmations, and I was like, this is a reminder to myself too how powerful affirmations are. So I'm telling you, have you ever thought about doing one? They work. They're not the fix-all for everything, but you couple them with all the other great things you're doing, and they can be powerful, right? It's kind of like just eating right alone is not going to solve all your problems,
That's correct, yes.
We got to have all the things in the right order here,
Yeah, I completely agree with you.
This has been fun. Okay, so question, you kind of touched upon this because you mentioned earlier, you'd like to, when you were younger, meet yourself.
Yeah.
So what advice would you maybe lend somebody that is starting in this entrepreneur space? You've said a couple of things, but maybe you have something specific you want to hone in on.
If I think back on it, I would say get out of college and start a business. Okay? Because what happens is these things take a long time.
Yeah.
And if you just start out right away, then you're going to have a couple that don't work out. And then someday you're kind of going to hit your stride.
That's good.
And the other thing is, that I found out in experience is sometimes when you have your business going and you just about the time you think I've had enough of this, I'm going to throw in the towel, that's when it suddenly takes off.
Yeah.
So don't give up and remain strong around all the people that are looking at you like, everybody goes through this trough of disillusionment. Yeah. At the bottom of the trough of disillusionment is when you have to be the strongest.
Yeah.
But if I had to give myself some advice, it would be like, okay, start a business as soon as you kind of figure out what you want to do and learn how to run a business so that you can do all this earlier.
Yeah.
Because now I went to several startups and I did all that and I'm glad that I did. I learned so much. I can't even tell you, the things I learned from doing it. And so let me talk out the other side of my mouth. You might need to go work at a larger company and kind of find out what it means to do global delivery and things like that, because of that, I've had the opportunity to work with all the giants of the world, like Apple and Motorola and Microsoft and Hewlett Packard, Siemens. I have sat in a lot of boardrooms around the world doing that, which you wouldn't get a chance to do if you hadn't been at a bigger place. But and probably the best advice maybe is this: never let go of your technical edge. If you find yourself knowing you're really great at putting together project schedules and budgets and stuff like that, you know what? That's great management skills, but your calling card is your technical skill.
Okay.
So when you're in a job interview, let's say, knowing what's up technically will get you to the point where they'll listen to, and by the way, I know how to organize something too.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. No, this is good. I love asking that question because I think it's just fun to kind of hear what people come up with. I think that's good.
We could talk about that for hours.
I know, but what I liked is that the very beginning, the part where you said, go to college and start a business, because I like that it's just that hey, this is part of the norm. Like,
Yeah,
just start a
right.
business, you know,
Yeah.
like, because I think there's so much stigma that you're doing something out of the ordinary, right?
Yeah,
Like you have,
right.
and dealing with family and friends,
Yeah.
right, is huge. You know, we used to always say that, you know, if your spouse was supporting you in the business, you could do anything. But if you were, if you
right.
didn't have that support, you were going to be in
right,
trouble,
right.
you know, because
Yeah.
you're going to be combating that. And so I think this whole idea that we're normalizing this,
Right.
this process of entrepreneurship
Now,
is really what I think
The
is
other
awesome.
thing that entrepreneurs, probably one of the first things I say to them is this, especially if you're going to go out and get investment.
Yeah.
Investors want to see your passion. They do.
Yeah.
But they really want to know if you know how to run this business.
Right, right.
So after they see how passionate you are,
Yes.
then they'll be willing to listen to how you're going to go to market. And if you don't know anything about that,
Yeah.
you're in trouble.
Yeah.
But if you can accept the fact there's things you don't know and get yourself a board of advisors of people who know these things and you can listen to them, then you'll be much better positioned to talk to investors about putting money in your company because that'll give them confidence.
This is good. No, and I'm glad you're saying this because I actually went through a 2-day boot camp that was for startups. It was a nonprofit that they
yeah.
were actually, they do the same.
Yeah.
They help
Yeah.
startups go, and they basically will walk them through acquisition. And so I actually
right.
sat through a 2-day workshop with that and saw all the, it was funny because at the end I had to give like a little presentation on how I was going to present this. Like and it was, we were doing it on the podcast. It was hilarious because I had to go in and actually present this like I'm doing it to bring it to go to get investors for it, you know, like, and it was hilarious to walk through, but it made me understand the process of having to go through knowing like how do you present this, how do you get your board of advisors, how do you get all these pieces put in, because it's not just I'm excited about doing my podcast and here's what we're doing, right? Because we want all that passion, right? We got to know how are we going to get that out to the people, right?
I went to a 12-week where I had 7 companies that I was mentoring.
Yeah.
So picture this: every week they get up and they give an investor pitch to all the bankers.
Yes, that's what it was, a pitch.
Okay. And then you take them to the private room and you go, look, this is what you got to improve on.
Yeah.
The next week they're a little better, but by the end of 12 weeks, the ones that were paying really good attention, instead of being up there with their hands in their pockets and shuffling their feet, they're excited about what they're doing and they much more clearly present how they're going to make something out of this thing.
Awesome.
And they instill confidence in potential investors.
That practicing. That's awesome. That's awesome. All right, Tom, fun question really quick I got to ask, and then we'll do a couple fun ones here. This has been great. You're awesome. If we had to sum Tom up in one word, what would you say that word is?
I would say tenacious.
Tenacious. I like it.
I am a
tenacious Tom.
That's right. I'm not. Yeah. Now I have been called a honey badger.
That's making me think about that show. What was it, the Honey Badger show or whatever? I think it was on Discovery. Yeah. They had that series about the honey. I like this. You've been called a honey badger.
I have been called a honey badger. Well, the deal is if you're going to have a company and you're going to start with nothing, you're going to have success come out the other end.
Yeah.
You've got to stay focused on it.
You got to be a honey badger.
And you can't let people distract you from your mission. And you got all these naysayers standing around, and you got to go, okay, I get all this, but this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
And you just
honey badger don't care.
Honey badger don't care. Honey
That's
badger is a honey badger.
You know,
Right. Exactly right.
Honey badger don't care. We all should be honey badgers is the way I see it in business. Right. Oh, we all need to be honey badgers.
You do.
All right. We got to do some rapid fire real quick.
Okay,
Because he's so fun. These are supposed to be fast. I don't know if we're going to get through them fast or not because we're having too much fun.
I might be here all day.
We might be. All right. You want to kick it off or you want me to?
Uh-oh.
This is a new one.
A new one?
A new one.
What is your favorite season and why?
What is my favorite season and why?
That's a good.
I'm probably going to have to go with spring because the weather is sort of, mild and temperature. Where winter, I'm not into snow and ice. I'm not. And in the summer, I'm not into the heat. And so when I just went to Oshkosh, well, it was 110 degrees here. It was 73 degrees there. I'm outdoors all day. I'm like, the weather's beautiful. I can dig that. Okay.
Awesome. All right. I know you've traveled.
I have.
So where's your favorite destination spot?
Oh, my gosh. Okay. You have to maybe accept the fact that there was a time where I knew my way around all the major airports.
Yeah, I knew that. I knew you traveled a lot.
So I'm well traveled, but I would say maybe London is a really nice place, or I had a really nice time in Sydney, Australia, and here's what I like thinking about when I used to travel to Europe all the time, and back then I had handlers. You know, you don't go, when you go somewhere and you got handlers. So you tell your handlers, okay, here's the deal.
Yeah.
I do not want to stay in an American hotel. I want to stay in a local culture hotel.
Yeah.
And so in all the places like London, Paris, and anywhere in Germany, if you stay in a local culture hotel, you kind of feel it as opposed to being, say, in a Marriott or something.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
so because
You're
of that,
when in Rome, do as the Romans.
I was in Oxford, north of London, and I stayed in a house that it was the house of Louis XIV, the exiled king of France, Louis XIV.
Yeah.
Now think about it.
Yeah. No, it would be a different experience,
How
right,
cool
than
is
a
that?
Marriott, for
Right,
sure.
Right. So
Yeah.
here in the United States, I'd probably say I like Boston. I lived there for a little while because it's so culturally rich for the U.S., where a lot of the other cities are sort of like Dallas, is, concrete and steel.
Yeah.
So you go to Boston, and you can go, walk the Freedom Trail. You can go out to Nantucket and Martha's Vineyard and stuff like that and have a really nice time.
Yeah. All right, one last question, unless you have one. Do you have one?
No, go for it.
Okay, last question. Favorite sport?
Favorite sport?
Or maybe team. You got a favorite team you like?
Well, my favorite sport, I'm not really good at golf, but I do like golf quite a bit. And believe it or not, I can watch golf.
You can
I
watch
realize
it.
other
Okay.
people, I think
Yeah.
other people say you're watching paint dry, but for me, watching golf.
It made me go nana. I'd probably go nana.
But if you're around
Baseball
Dallas,
does that too.
If you're around Dallas and you go get yourself on a team of a networking event.
Yeah.
You're going to meet 3 people, and you're going to spend 4 hours with them, which you could not
Honestly,
get
too
5 minutes on their schedule for nothing.
There you go.
And so I have met the most interesting people
Doing golf.
by randomly signing up for a golf tournament.
Okay. Very cool. Yeah.
So
you spend enough time, you can learn a lot.
after that, it's probably football.
Football. Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Professional football.
Yeah. It's been fun, Tom.
It's been
You kept
fun.
us entertained.
I tell you.
We told you it'd be fun. He
It
kept
is
us
fun.
entertained. All right, Tom. So
You're making me look good.
That's right. That's what we want to do. We want to make you look good. If our audience wants to learn more about you and Opango, see what you got going on, where do we want to send them?
You want to send them to our website, and
Okay.
there's contact information and all that kind of stuff there.
What's that website?
Opango.com, www.opango.com.
We got it. We'll make sure when it goes out, we'll get it in there.
And you get that in there, and then, believe it or not, there's phone numbers and all kinds of stuff.
All kinds of stuff
Now,
to reach
here's-
you.
You don't click the get quote button because you can't even imagine. That thing just scrolls. So if you really want to
Yeah.
communicate with me, go look at that website. But then what you can do is email me at tom@opango.com.
Okay. Awesome.
Okay, so you can put in my email address, and I'll
Yeah.
even give you my mobile number, and you put that in there too.
Awesome, Tom. You've been great. You're fun.
Well,
I
thank
always
you.
enjoy chatting with you. Lots of good conversations. So we do want to say, of course, to our audience, if you enjoy our show, please be sure you give us a rating, both on iTunes and Facebook, because we can't do this without you. Hit the subscribe button on YouTube, and we want to leave you with a final thought. In order to live the extraordinary, you must start. And every start begins with a decision. You
Yep.
guys take care, be safe, and be kind to one another. We will see you next time.